This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Friday, the 23rd day of May in the year 2025. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here is what we're tracking tonight. Opposition leader Aubrey Norton marched his fellow opposition members out of the National Assembly today after launching a blistering attack on the Guyana government over its handling of the Guyana-Venezuela border controversy. The government was hopeful today that it would get the support of the opposition for its motion, which sought to denounce Venezuela's planned election for the Essequibo this weekend. But Mr. Norton said the government has moved away from a long-standing practice of including the opposition to issue joint statements and having an input on the motion before it is laid in the National Assembly once it regards to Venezuela. He said the opposition will not support the motion in its current form and wants the government to go back to the table.
As an opposition, we have consistently supported the government on the Guyana-Venezuela territorial controversy. And we continue to be supportive of the cause. We have said the arbitral award is final. We have said that before. Now that when you finish airing off yourself, let me say this to you. We continue to support the case. We continue to protect our sovereignty and territorial integrity, but we cannot support a government that continues to disrespect the people of Guyana.
Mr. Norton said at minimum the motion falls short of addressing some key issues. He said there should have been clauses which clearly point out that Venezuela once accepted the arbitral award and even printed stamps which show Essequibo was part of Guyana's territory. The opposition leader also said the omission of those and other pieces of information from the motion weakened it and left Guyanese less informed.
As a government, you need to instill hope in the people of Guyana. Nothing that has been said today instills hope. You come over as a hopeless bunch depending on the ICJ. We support the movement to the ICJ, but we are well aware that Venezuela doesn't honor agreements, and therefore you should have already been outlining your strategy as to what Guyanese need to do after the pronouncement.
The opposition leader also said the opposition remains unshaken in its position and condemns the Venezuelan plan to hold the elections over this weekend. Mr. Norton said the government's lack of action cannot go unnoticed. He said with Venezuela's sham election plan, the Guyana government has not launched any campaign here to counter Venezuela and to bring comfort to the indigenous communities. He concluded that Guyana's stance appears to be its heavy reliance on the International Court of Justice. Norton said while the opposition fully supports the ICJ process, it is well known that Venezuela has no respect for the processes there. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Mark Phillips attacked the opposition leader for his position and said it was an unpatriotic stance.
We've just had a perfect example of a shameful demonstration of patriotism. A most unpatriotic address, not to this house only, but to the people of Guyana, by one who supposedly is remunerated to perform the duties of leader of the opposition in this house. Mr. Speaker, a house divided cannot stand. And what we had there was a perfect example of an attempt to divide the people of Guyana.
The opposition has complained about not being regularly briefed on the border controversy and the latest developments, and has also accused the government of ignoring its calls for meetings of the National Assembly's Foreign Relations Committee to discuss and address the situation with Venezuela. More news coming up in a moment.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look. You know the one. Or one touch, even one word. I can start with one step or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
The Ministry of Education wishes to announce that the Because We Care Cash Grant and the Uniform and School Supplies Grant will begin distribution from May 12, 2025. Please note, however, that distribution will begin later in May and in some cases June for certain regions. Therefore, we encourage all parents and guardians to consult the published distribution schedule to confirm when their grant will be available.
So, what's been given this year?
The grant has been increased to $55,000 per child. This includes $50,000 for the Because We Care Cash Grant and $5,000 for the Uniform and School Supplies Grant.
Who qualifies for this grant?
All public and private school learners from nursery year 1 to grade 10 who are registered and attending school are eligible. In grade 11, only students who will register for CAPE grade 12 in September qualify, along with current grade 12 students who will be continuing to grade 13. For children entering nursery this year, they must have been registered by March 28, 2025.
How do I collect the grant?
The parent or assigned guardian of the child can uplift the grant at the child's school. Just make sure to bring a valid form of ID, your national ID card, passport, or driver's license.
What if I don't have any of those IDs?
No worries, your identity can be verified by a senior official in your community, such as the school's principal or village tusho.
Suppose I can't go myself to collect it. What then?
You can authorize someone else to collect the grant on your behalf.
What happens if I miss the date?
If you miss the scheduled date at your school, a later collection date will be announced, but this will only happen after the national distribution is completed, so it's best to collect it as scheduled if possible. Got more questions? Check the Ministry of Education's social media pages or contact your child's school for more information. In service to you, because we care.
Welcome back. Well, ahead of Venezuela's planned sham elections this Sunday to elect a governor and officials for Guyana's Essequibo region, Guyana's Foreign Affairs Minister Hugh Todd made it clear today that Guyana will not be intimidated or bullied by Venezuela and its acts of provocation. Mr. Todd said from all indications there has been no campaigning for the elections in Guyana's territory, but Guyana is taking the matter seriously and has activated all diplomatic and legal options available. Debating on a motion in the National Assembly this morning to denounce Venezuela's planned elections, the foreign minister said Venezuela continues to act in total defiance of the international court.
Our intelligence is that there is currently no physical activity taking place in any of our communities close to the border, or suggests that there is any preparation for elections to be conducted in our Essequibo. It is important for Venezuela to understand that Guyana will not be bullied, threatened, or intimidated to surrender any portion of our patrimony.
The foreign minister told the National Assembly that Guyana has used and continues to use every diplomatic and legal channel available to raise the issue of Venezuela's aggression. He said Guyana remains committed to the process of international law to resolve the matter. Minister Todd detailed Venezuela's sustained aggression of harassment, threats, and incursions over the years, and said at one point in late 2023, Venezuela was preparing to use military aggression against Guyana.
Mr. Speaker, in each and every situation that I mentioned here where Venezuela violated our territorial integrity, we took immediate, decisive, and strategic action. We first lodged a protest with Venezuela. Secondly, we reaffirmed the International Court of Justice of the belligerent actions of Venezuela in a matter that is currently before it.
The foreign minister also said the government of Guyana has already started to ramp up diplomatic pressure abroad. He said the United Nations Secretary General and the International Court are now both in possession of information chronicling Venezuela's actions, and he believes this too will significantly boost Guyana's case.
We have significantly intensified our legal and diplomatic efforts to preserve our sovereignty and territorial integrity in response to Venezuela's escalating claims over our Essequibo region. Mr. Speaker, on the legal front, you're aware that in March 2018, Guyana filed an application with the International Court of Justice instituting proceedings against Venezuela, in which it asks the court to determine that the 1899 arbitral award is valid and binding to both states, and that the lawful international boundary is the one established by this said award.
The foreign minister also sought to explain a recent ICJ decision where 3 judges dissented. He said the dissent was due to the procedure and not Guyana's case, explaining that the justices agree in substance that Venezuela must refrain from planning the elections, and that their dissent was based on the fact that the court had already issued a decision to bar the elections, and there was no need to do so again. Recommendations that have been put forward by the Alliance for Change, even as it defended its decision to withhold support for a government motion on the territorial controversy with Venezuela. Executive member of the AFC Kathy Hughes said Guyana's response to Venezuela's increasing acts of aggression and provocation must not be lopsided.
Let us establish a permanent parliamentary committee on territorial integrity, comprising representatives from all major political parties, civil society, and the diplomatic corps. This body should meet quarterly to be briefed and contribute to strategies.
She also called for regular classified briefings to the opposition on all developments, whether legal, diplomatic, military, and political, once they relate to the Venezuelan issue.
Our diplomats abroad must speak with one Guyanese voice. We recommend a joint parliamentary mission, inclusive of opposition and civil society, to key capitals, including Washington, Brussels, London, Beijing, and within CARICOM. We must show the world that Guyana stands united in peace and firm in sovereignty. Strategic military preparedness. While Guyana remains committed to diplomacy, we must never appear vulnerable. We support the modernization of our defense force, but call for civilian oversight and parliamentary involvement in key decisions about military cooperation and preparedness. History has taught us that when a nation is divided within.
But even as the recommendations were put forward by Hughes, she expressed disappointment that despite the gravity of the border controversy, the government has not seen it fit to convene the Parliamentary Committee on Foreign Relations regularly.
From 2015 to 2018, during the APNU AFC administration, the Parliamentary Committee on Foreign Relations, which includes government and opposition participation, met 22 times. That is the model we set, a model of dialogue, consultation, and inclusion in matters of national interest. But in the 5 years of this PPP administration, from 2020 to date, the Foreign Relations Committee has met 3 times. 22 times under the APNU AFC, 3 times under this PPP administration. This is a clear example of the PPP's lack of commitment towards including the opposition and in creating a national approach to our border controversy.
Today, the National Assembly passed a motion expressing its full support for the government of Guyana in its efforts to protect and defend Guyana's territorial integrity through peaceful and lawful means, including continued recourse to the International Court of Justice. The opposition walked out of the debate on the motion following the opposition leader's presentation, saying that the government has not been including the opposition in any of its meetings and plans with regards to Venezuela.
GCOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. Who can register? Anyone who will be 14 years or older by June 30, 2025 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. Where to apply for registration? You are required to visit the GCOM registration office that is responsible for the registration of persons in your area of residence to apply for registration. Office hours, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 12 and 13 to 16 hours 30. Friday, 8 to 12 hours and 13 to 15 hours 30. The offices will be closed on weekends and holidays. You need to apply for a transfer if you now live at another address since you were registered. This registration exercise will end on May 30, 2025. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0277-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
New York City, summer is about to get hot. Saturday, August 2nd, SR Hamilton LLC presents Gospel Infusion. Featuring Samuel Medas, Psycho, Eddie Neblett, Sean Daniels out of Trinidad, Carlvin Burnett, Christelle Brandt, Sherilyn Maloney, DJ Kesta D, and many more at the South Jamaica Multi-Service Center, 11402 Guy R. Brewer Boulevard, Queens, New York. Gates open at 4 p.m., showtime 5 p.m. Get your super early bird tickets for only $50. General admission $70. Pay more at the gate and limited VIP $100 all inclusive. Come and experience the outpouring of God's grace Saturday, August 2nd. For more information, visit Gospel Infusion on Facebook and Instagram.
Your own home is so much more than just 4 walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Need small appliance for your kitchen? Giftland have it. Need fridge or stove? Giftland have it. Speakers or laptop? Giftland have it. I'm telling you, Giftland have everything. And don't get me started on TVs. 58-inch, 65-inch, 70-inch, 75-inch. All sizes in leading brands. Best thing about it, they give a warranty. Man, Giftland is the place for all your electronics purchases.
Washi. Hi people. Washing made so easy since I found Washi. Washing me use wash me clothes and I can say Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder leave me clothes smelling nice, of course. So give thanks to Washi soap powder for doing my laundry right. Keep my clothes color bright. Have me clothes smelling nice for sure. I could not ask for more. Comes in lemon and original. It is a washing machine in a pack. Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder have my clothes smelling nice, of course.
Distributors located in the Stabrook Market.
Demanding justice for 11-year-old Adriana Young, leader of the opposition Aubrey Norton, led a peaceful protest outside of State House today. Tomorrow marks 1 month since Young was found dead in the pool at a Doubleday Hotel in Tushin. A post-mortem examination on Young's remains indicated that she died by drowning. The family of the young girl, however, has been demanding more answers, and the family has been pressing for a second autopsy and a detailed and independent investigation into the death. A Canadian homicide expert was brought in by the government to assist with the investigations. But the opposition leader today said he is not pleased with the progress of the investigations.
The police doesn't operate within a legal framework, and it is for that reason they didn't take statements, etc., because they were expecting that this matter would be swept under the carpet, because the role of the police force at this stage is to protect the elites who are involved in crime. And so we could never be satisfied until there is justice.
Mr. Norton questioned the motive behind the government's reluctance to support and facilitate a second autopsy. The first autopsy was done at the Georgetown Hospital by 3 international pathologists, including one chosen by the family. But the opposition leader is of the opinion that the family's request for a second opinion should be supported.
What does the government have to hide? If you don't have anything to hide, why would you be putting barriers in the way of the body going overseas? Why would you be putting barriers in the way of another autopsy altogether?
The family of Adriana Young is holding out for justice. The child is still to be laid to rest. One of the world's most enduring and recognized footwear brands, Bata, is making its return to Guyana with the opening of a flagship store at the Giftland Mall. According to the company, the exciting re-entry marks a revival of a beloved brand that holds deep sentimental value for many Guyanese. It's that the relaunch not only rekindles those nostalgic connections, but also introduces a new generation of Guyanese consumers to the brand's modern, stylish, and diverse collections. According to the company, this is more than just the launch of another shoe store. It's a homecoming. Head of international franchise at Bata, Pankaraj Gupta, said the company is thrilled to re-establish Bata's presence in Guyana. The brand, he said, has always enjoyed strong emotional equity in the Caribbean. Following the Giftland Mall opening, Bata plans to expand its footprint across the country with additional stores in New Amsterdam, Linden, Bartica, and Lethem. A 21-year-old Cuban woman was brutally stabbed to death by her stepfather this morning at an apartment building in Pike Street, Kitty, here in Georgetown. The dead woman, David Morales, traveled to Guyana from Cuba along with her mother, the stepfather, and the younger sister. The police said the family rented an apartment in Kitty. However, at around 7 o'clock this morning, loud screams were heard coming from the apartment. Another tenant in the same building told investigators that when he investigated the screams by going to the apartment, he noticed the stepfather, Whispery Alfonso, with a chopper in hand, slashing away on the body of his wife. The man said he also noticed the stepdaughter lying on the floor with multiple wounds about her body. However, she got up and ran from the apartment but collapsed just outside where she died. The eyewitness said the 40-year-old suspect was then seen leaving the building with a weapon in hand. Emergency services were summoned, and the two badly injured women were taken to the hospital, where the mother was admitted, but the daughter was pronounced dead. The police said the suspect walked into the Kitty police station with the murder weapon in his hands and surrendered to the police. He was arrested immediately. Tonight, the matter is under investigation.
The Ministry of Education wishes to announce that the Because We Care cash grant and the Uniform and School Supplies grant will begin distribution from May 12, 2025. Please note, however, that distribution will begin later in May and in some cases June for certain regions. Therefore, we encourage all parents and guardians to consult the published distribution schedule to confirm when their grant will be available.
So, what's been given this year?
The grant has been increased to $55,000 per child. This includes $50,000 for the Because We Care cash grant and $5,000 for the Uniform and School Supplies grant.
Who qualifies for this grant?
All public and private school learners from nursery year 1 to grade 10 who are registered and attending school are eligible. In grade 11, only students who will register for CAPE grade 12 in September qualify, along with current grade 12 students who will be continuing to grade 13. For children entering nursery this year, they must have been registered by March 28, 2025.
How do I collect the grant?
The parent or assigned guardian of the child can uplift the grant at the child's school. Just make sure to bring a valid form of ID, your national ID card, passport, or driver's license.
What if I don't have any of those IDs?
No worries, your identity can be verified by a senior official in your community, such as the school's principal or village tusho.
Suppose I can't go myself to collect it. What then?
You can authorize someone else to collect the grant on your behalf.
What happens if I miss the date?
If you miss the scheduled date at your school, a later collection date will be announced, but this will only happen after the national distribution is completed, so it's best to collect it as scheduled if possible. Got more questions? Check the Ministry of Education's social media pages or contact your child's school for more information. In service to you, because we care.
Buster presenting the new 500 milliliter. Wow, Buster flavorful. Make every meal better. Grab a Buster for drink, Buster move. Taste this. 500 ml, that's it. Buster for days, that's cool. Buster 500 milliliter is a brand new choice of my drink with my food. Vibing every munch, that's smooth. Introducing the new Buster 500 milliliter. Grab a bottle with your lunch today.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyana is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyana's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyana has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall in the region. Brazil's finance ministry on Friday said it had scraped a higher transaction tax on funds invested abroad after critics inside and outside the government blasted the move as backsliding toward the return of capital controls. The measure was part of an executive decree on Thursday, raising Brazil's financial transactions tax for a range of operations in order to plug a budget gap. Immediate outcry led Finance Minister Fernando Haddad to partially reverse course. He told journalists, and I quote, "Due to the repercussions, we had to be quick with the revision." End of quote. Brazil's currency weakened over 1% against the US dollar in Friday morning trading. The higher tax rates rolled out on Thursday with immediate effect caught the central bank and parts of the government's own economic team off guard, according to 3 officials. Argentina is easing foreign currency reporting rules to encourage residents to start using an estimated $271 billion in cash dollars stashed away in mattresses and foreign bank accounts, long held by Argentines as a hedge against decades of economic turmoil. Argentines will be able to use dollars without declaring where they came from, presidential spokesman Manuel Adorni said at a press conference on Thursday. Previously, the dollars could not be used without declaring their origin, which triggered taxes. The underground cash stash overshadows a recent $20 billion program from the International Monetary Fund and would prop up the peso if even a fraction of it was returned to the economy. But many Argentines are wary of fessing up to what they hold. And finally tonight, international news. Russia and Ukraine each released 390 prisoners on Friday and said they would free more in the coming days, in what is expected to be the biggest prisoner swap of the war so far, according to Reuters. The agreement to exchange 1,000 prisoners each was the only concrete step towards peace to emerge last week from the first direct talks between the warring sides in more than 3 years, when they failed to agree to cease fire. Both sides said they had each released 270 soldiers and 120 civilians so far, with more due to be released on Saturday and Sunday. Referring to the prisoner swap earlier on Friday, U.S. President Donald Trump, who had pressed the sides to meet last week, wrote on Truth Social, and I quote, "Congratulations to both sides on this negotiation. This could lead to something big." End of quote. Hundreds of thousands of soldiers on both sides are believed to have been wounded or killed in Europe's deadliest war since World War II, although neither side publishes accurate casualty figures. Tens of thousands of Ukrainian civilians have also died as Russian forces have besieged and bombarded Ukrainian cities. Ukraine on Friday reiterated that it is ready for a 30-day ceasefire immediately. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall, wishing you a pleasant weekend.